It's crazy how the black community and the Hispanic community complain about racism, but yet we openly attack ourselves, light skin versus dark skin. There's so many jokes on social media about light skin be like or dark skin be like. There seems to be only one ethnic group that acts as if light and dark skin are two different races. Stereotypes that all light-skinned people are attractive or have good hair, think they're too nice and are full of themselves, or conceited, or light-skinned men are soft, pretty boys, bitches, while dark-skinned men are looked as being unfriendly, unapproachable, intimidating, and dark-skinned women are unattractive and ghetto. No one really questions where the whole light-skin versus dark-skin feud came from. But it came from Willie Lynch in the 1700s. See, he spoke of ways to break apart the tightly unified black community. Willie Lynch devised a plan that would control the slaves physically and mentally for over 300 years. His exact words were, you gotta use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. During the years of slavery in America, this dark versus light bullshit was implemented. Dark-skinned slaves were made to do the work outside. Light-skinned slaves were in the house doing the work on the inside. See, this turned the slaves against each other and started splitting them up into two groups, light and dark-skinned. His plan split a group of people who should have been united, but were separated due to distrust and envy all over skin tone. The idea was once you can control someone mentally, you can get them to do whatever you want. The goal was to control the slaves for thousands of years. Putting the darkest skinned men and women outside to do the field work brought envy and made the darkest skinned slaves feel inferior to the light skinned slaves. See, his demonic plan consisted of crossbreeding. He stated if you breed the lightest of the slaves and keep breeding the lightest of the offspring, you'll whitewash them. Furthermore, he suggested destroying the mother language of black people. That means not allowing us to speak our native tongue. He also wanted to limit the understanding of the English language. He said, being a fool is one of the basic ingredients of a perfect slave. So by making us foolish, small differences like color, shade, hair can be used to break our unity. That's how the start of the light-skin versus dark-skin bullshit came about. Willie Lynch's plan ultimately was to take the small differences between black people and make them into a major factor. It's gotten to the point where you'll hear a light-skinned black person say, I'm not black, I'm light-skinned. Or the funny one to me, when Puerto Ricans and Dominicans say, I'm not black, I'm Spanish, even though they mix black, Indian, and Spanish. See, I watched a documentary with a bunch of Cape Verdeans who sworn their mother that they not black. Then you got the other side of the bullshit. When you get some dark-skinned black people that are so about this purity that they don't realize how racist and stupid and self-hating they've become. He's not black, he's light-skinned. He's not one of us. I made a lot of videos about black pride and black women, and I always get those few dark-skinned guys that comment saying, I can't take this video seriously, he's light-skinned. Or the automatic assumption that I'm just Puerto Rican or Dominican because someone as light as me or with my features or hair can't be black. Sick and tired of adding, yo, my dad's black. But then that's almost like saying, well, yeah, my mother's Puerto Rican, but I'm automatically saying she's white, when in fact she also sits in that black category. We hate each other so much and disrespect each other so much that we get confused when a white person disrespects us. But we don't respect ourselves, so we ain't got no unity anymore. If I date a dark-skinned girl, another dark-skinned dude would say, oh, you sold out. You went for a pretty light-skinned boy. But hold on, ain't we all black, regardless of shade? Do white people segregate based on hair and skin tone? No. The media measures beauty by how close to white somebody looks. They did an experiment, I think, like in 2010, with little black girls, and they all picked a white doll and said that white doll was beautiful. There's actual physical beef and drama between our own people. Like type in light skin versus dark skin on YouTube and you'll see a whole bunch of fights going on, right? As a light skinned guy, right, of Jamaican and Puerto Rican heritage, Growing up, I got a lot of compliments, from white women, but the majority came from black women inside and outside of my own family. See, I was light skinned with long, thick hair, and apparently that was thanks to my Puerto Rican side. And apparently that was all I needed to be considered good looking. So if it wasn't for my Puerto Rican side, would I somehow be ugly? As I got older, women would approach me and say they want my child because they want their kids to have nice hair or nice skin tone. In Puerto Rico, a lot of families advise darker skinned women, to date very light men or white men in order to not make the bloodline any darker. Then you get the comments like, oh, she's pretty for a dark skinned girl, or I hope the baby comes out light. Now you got people bleaching themselves, and you got to ask yourself, who convinced them that their natural skin wasn't beautiful when it was brown? What they don't realize that this is self-hatred. It's been bred into us from the beginning, right? It's indirectly affecting us. So what you have to remember, right? Educate your mind on the history of this. If it took a process to educate us to this BS, it will take education and a process to reverse that process. There's no dark skin versus light skin. Like, what's this Latinos who were Spanish but yet look biracial? We're black, right? Remember that. It should have been unity from the beginning, and it's supposed to be unity now. I'm sick and tired of it. That's all I know.
Peace, love, and coconut oil.
Hey man, that's racist. Please remember that from now on, brand new never before seen videos, as well as live streams, will only be available on my website, ikyg.com, via a Patreon subscription. ikyg.com is a Black-owned, Black-ran platform, 100% free from censorship. It's the only place where we don't have to worry about what we say and expressing ourselves. Make sure you check out the description and the comment section for important links, as well as information in video form that shows you what benefits you get when you support the site and join my Patreon. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe and be notified every time I upload a video. For exclusive content and perks, check out my Patreon. This is where we have private live streams, group chats, live Q&As, live phone calls, and open topics. This is a safe space where you can interact with other like-minded people, make friends, send each other direct private messages, and so much more without any trolls. And yes, you get to use GIFs and images in the live chats. So what are you waiting for? This is a completely independent website, free from censorship. If you'd like to make a donation towards the site so we can continue to put out the truth without fear of being silenced, then please hit that donation button. It's greatly appreciated. Check out the rest of the site for videos, private and public live streams, find out all the tea, and make sure to utilize the Black Money section of the website. Advertise your business absolutely free to people that look like you, free forever. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at angel_IKYG.